You ever have one of those days where you're rinsing paint rollers in your laundry sink, just minding your own business, and the next thing you know, you're supposedly trespassing in your own home? Yeah, I didn't think so either. But buckle up because I promise you, what happened to me is either a comedy of errors or a full-blown HOA fever dream, and honestly, I'm still not sure which would be worse. So, it's a plain Wednesday, right after lunch. The house is quiet except for the sound of me cussing at a stubborn paint roller when I hear the old mail slot clatter. We still had one of those classic brass flaps on the door because in my neighborhood, even the squirrels need to be HOA approved. I wipe my hands, wander over, and there's this envelope on the floor. Thick, official, and addressed to occupant. Not my name, not even homeowner. Just occupant. Like I was renting a motel room by the hour. Return address? The HOA's management office, no real company name, just a suite number and a P.O. box. It already feels shady, but hey, maybe it's another friendly reminder to move my trash can or pay my mailbox, right? Nope. Inside is a letter with the kind of capital letters you only see on court orders or ransom notes. Notice of immediate vacate and property transfer. No, really. My stomach drops into my shoes. People joke about HOAs being petty fines for trash cans, grass an inch too high, a rogue inflatable Santa, but this is a different beast. According to the letter, as of right now, I no longer have the right to occupy or be in proximity to my property. The HOA, it says, has assumed ownership and control due to ongoing violations and delinquency. My presence is now trespassing. But hey, they've generously assigned me a storage room at an off-site facility, and I've got 70 hours, 70, not 72, to get my stuff out before they lock me out. We appreciate your prompt compliance. Like they're handing me a complimentary mint on my eviction pillow. I read it 3 times before it sinks in. I'm not behind on dues. Never had a late fee. If there was an award for most boring, compliant homeowner, I'd have a trophy. My first thought? Wrong house. Second thought? Scam. Third? If it's a scam, it's a bold one with my real address, HOA letterhead, and way too much confidence. I do what any sane person does when they get a letter that reads like a legal bomb. I log into my HOA portal. After 3 tries and a password reset, I'm in balance as 0, no violations, no fines. My phone buzzes before I can process it. A text from my neighbor Jessa. Are you home? There are 2 people by your driveway with clipboards. And just like that, the little voice in my head goes from, this is a prank to this is real and they're already here. I peek out. They're the area man in a polo and khakis, a woman with a binder and a bun. They look like the type who say, per my last email, for fun. They start taking pictures of my porch. I open the door, but I don't step outside like there's an invisible force field across the threshold. Can I help you? I try to sound calm. The guy says, Sir, you've been notified. We're here to document the condition and take inventory. The woman reads from her binder. This property is now under association control. You do not have authorization to be here. I actually laugh not because it's funny, but because my brain refuses to process the sheer gall. This is my house, I say. I pay the mortgage, I pay the taxes, and my HOA dues are at 0. You can't just kick me out. The man's smile turns cold. If you refuse to comply, we'll have to involve law enforcement. That's when the switch flips. People who are mistaken don't threaten you. With the police, they apologize. People who are running a play threaten. Happy to involve law enforcement, I say, grabbing my phone and hitting record. The woman says, recording isn't permitted. I say, on my property in my doorway? Yeah, it is. And by the way, you're on camera trespassing. He points at his binder, another letter, same nonsense. She claims they sent it. I never got it. She insists I was served. By who? Process server. Not an answer. You have 70 hours, he says. You'll get a call about the storage room. If you obstruct, you'll lose access sooner. My hands are steady, but my heart's pounding. Step off my driveway. Now. They don't budge. So I call the police non-emergency line. Unknown individuals refusing to leave, claiming they have authority to remove me from my home, telling me I'm trespassing at my own address. The dispatcher hesitates, but says an officer will come. While we wait, I call the HOA's management office. Straight to voicemail about valuing community harmony. I leave a message probably sounding way too calm. Then I call my mortgage servicer Shirley. If my house was foreclosed, they'd know. After a labyrinth of phone menus, a human comes on. Sir, your loan is current. No foreclosure. No transfer. I ask, can an HOA foreclose without you knowing? She says they can initiate a lien foreclosure, but we'd be notified if anything affected the title. I'm seeing nothing. She emails me proof. I forward it to Jessa and file in a folder called HOA War because I cope with humor. Next up, County Recorder's Office. Clerk says I can check online. I don't know transfer, but a lien from a few months ago under a name close to mine but not mine. Signature SMS. Fraud starts to flicker in my head. The patrol car finally rolls up. Officer takes in the scene, clipboard duo, camera out. He goes, "What's going on?" The man in khakis says, "This individual is no longer authorized to be here." The officer looks at me. "Is that true?" I explain. "Mortgage is current. HOA balance is 0. These people refuse to leave." Officer says, "Do you have a court order?" The man blinks. "We have authority from the association." Officer deadpan, "That's not what I asked." The woman repeats, "The association has assumed control." Officer, firmer, "If you're evicting someone, you need a court order. Do you have one?" They hesitate. "That's everything I need to know. Do you want them to leave?" "Yes, and I want a report." Officer tells them to go, and if they have a civil claim, pursue it in court. If you don't leave, you'll be cited, maybe arrested. They back down, but on their way out, Binder woman says, "You're making a mistake. There will be consequences." It sounds like a line from a bad movie. Officer asks if I want to press trespassing charges. Since they left, it's just for documentation unless they come back. He takes my statement. When he leaves, my porch feels way too quiet. 5 minutes later, Jessa comes over. "I got pictures of their car. License plate. Video of them on your porch." "Oh, and last month I got a weird letter something about curb appeal violations with a huge fine. Then it disappeared when I pushed back." She keeps the photo because she's smart. "I think they're doing something bigger," she whispers. I believe her. That night, I barely sleep. I pull every document deed, mortgage statements, proof of payments, emails. I find a lien doc, zoom in on the signature, pixel by pixel. Then I search my address in the court system. Bam! Case filed by the HOA, enforcement and possession. Defendant is a version of my name, supposedly served on a day I know I was home. No one knocked, no papers left. They told the court I was served when I wasn't. That's not a clerical error. That's a strategy. Now, here's the twist because every good nightmare needs a twist, right? Next morning, I call a real estate attorney recommended by a coworker. Her name's Delaney, and she's got the calm of someone who's seen it all. I lay it out the letter, the duo, the fake service. She says, if what you're telling me is accurate, they've made a big mistake. Don't leave your home. Don't let anyone in without a court order. Send me everything. She explains, HOAs can file liens, sometimes even foreclose, but not like this, not without due process, and not by faking documents and service. We get ready to file an emergency motion for an injunction. Then I get a text. This is your final warning. Vacate by deadline. Storage room will be reassigned. I send it to Delaney, who says, good. That helps. Shows intimidation. Proves it's not an accident. She starts pulling court documents, and buried in the stack is a deed in lieu agreement with my address, name spelled wrong, and a signature that looks like mine if you squint and imagine you're in the dark. She's dead serious now. If they're filing forged documents, this is fraud. Right then, Jessa texts, 2 more cars just drove by your house. One stop took pics. I got video. Delaney says, they're trying to pressure you. or hope you panic. We're moving fast. That afternoon, I pull up to my house white van in my driveway, clipboard duo, and a locksmith at my front door. Audacity level, expert. I start recording before I even get out. Step away from my door. I say, "Polo guy, you were told not to return. This is association property." Me, no court order, no permission. You're attempting an illegal lockout. I look at the locksmith. If you change that lock, you'll be named in a lawsuit for wrongful eviction. Don't ruin your life over this. He hesitates. I asked them if they had a court order. They said yes, but I didn't see one. I say, ask to see it. Polo guy tries to block. We don't need a show. Oh yes, you do. Show the court order. Binder woman flashes another letter, just paper, no judge's signature. The locksmith swears, closes his kit, and walks away. "I'm not doing this," he says. I call the police. They're here with a locksmith, trying to change my locks. No court order. Jessa's recording everything, her face fierce. Officers arrive. One of them recognizes me from yesterday. "Do you have a court order?" They try the same script. Officers done with it. "No order, you're trespassing. Attempting an unlawful eviction." They leave, humiliated. Officer tells me, "If they show up again, call us. Don't handle this alone." Afterwards, the street feels different. Neighbors have seen it. This isn't just my battle anymore. Delaney files for a temporary restraining order. I gather evidence, doorbell footage, work calendar, receipts, property records. I wonder who would benefit if I left. Who's bold enough to offer a storage room to a homeowner they claim to have evicted? The next morning, emergency court hearing. Delaney is a force. She lays out everything. I'm the owner, mortgage current, HOA balancer, lien filed under the wrong name, fake service, and then enforcement without a court order. She submits every shred of proof, including the deed in lieu. The judge's face hardens. HOA president tries to bluster, talks about authority, community standards, and process paperwork. Judge keeps asking, "Where's the court order authorizing removal?" Eventually, they admit they don't have one. Judge doesn't hesitate. Orders the HOA to back off, turn over all documents, and stop all enforcement actions. Warns them this could go beyond civil, could be criminal. HOA president loses his smile. Delaney plans for discovery, subpoenas, title protection, damages. I'm safe in my house. That's the priority. Afterwards, it unravels. The notary journal doesn't match me. The deed in lieu signature is a joke. The ledger has fake charges. They tried the storage room trick on another homeowner. Turns out, the HOA president had been shopping distressed properties, bragging about a process that gets owners out fast. Delaney sends everything to the DA. The HOA board gets ousted. The management company's contract is killed. My title is cleared. I get legal costs and damages. The DA files charges. Justice at last. So what's the lesson? Power games only work if you're alone, silent, and scared. But when you document everything, when you've got neighbors like Jessa, and you stand your ground, even the most confident bullies fold under spotlight. That's my story. Paint finally dry, door just a door again. So tell me, where's the line between enforcing rules and straight-up abuse of power? Who gets to decide? Have you ever been targeted by an HOA or someone on a power trip? Drop your stories below. Tell me where you're watching from, and let's talk about what real justice looks like.
Cảm ơn tất cả các bạn đã xem video.